Welcome to the Addicted to Recovery podcast, One Voice, Many Stories, where we delve into the transformative journey of overcoming addiction and embracing a life of recovery. In this podcast, we share stories of hope, resilience and triumph, exploring the challenges, victories and lessons learned along the way. The Addicted to Recovery podcast is a platform for sharing stories of resilience, hope and transformation in the face of addiction. Through candid conversations and heartfelt reflections, we aim to inspire, educate and empower listeners on their own journey of recovery. Join us as we explore the path from darkness to light, from addiction to freedom and from despair to hope. This is Addicted to Recovery, One Voice, Many Stories. So hello and welcome back to Addicted to Recovery podcast, One Voice, Many Stories. I'm your host Bobby Walker. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, Laurent Vernet, a recovery minister with the Methodist Church, who's been deeply involved in supporting individuals, families and communities affected by addiction. We're going to explore the work they do, the challenges they see and the hope they're helping to build. So Laurent, thanks very much for joining us today. So just to start off, could you share a little bit about your own journey, what led you into this line of work and supporting people in recovery?
Thank you, Bobby, for this opportunity to have a conversation with you. My journey within the world of recovery, well, first, I don't have a life experience. And I think that's the first thing I want to say. I'm a church minister, and many people have come to me just to have a conversation with me. So what I can offer is not a life experience, but very much compassion. And as a church minister, I try to bring as well the peace and the hope that the Christian faith is offering to people.
Thank you. And again, for listeners who might not know, what does your role as the recovery minister actually involve day to day?
Well, that's a good question. Because my boss is asking exactly the same question. And there's not one day the same than the others. So, as I say, I'm a recovery minister. So, first, I'm a minister. So that means I will do what ministers do, baptism, service on a Sunday, Bible studies, all these kind of things that ministers will do. And visiting as well, which is an important part of Methodist ministry. Which means that I will go to see people where they are. If they are housebound, I will go to see them in a house. If they are in hospital, I will see them in hospital. If they are in prison, I will go to visit them in prison. And if they are in a street, I will see them in a street. Many people come to see me, but people are also coming, asking me to go to see them. So what I do is I offer a compassionate shoulder for people to cry, here for them to be able to talk, because sometimes people carry heavy burden and may not want to inflict it on their family or on their friends. So to have someone who is neutral and safe and they can share things they don't want to share with others is what the minister is. But also is looking for a sense in life. So that is what, as a recovery minister, I'm able to offer, is we can talk for people to try to discern what is the meaning of their life, despite the difficulty of addiction and recovery. I'm not here to walk in front of them, I'm not here to walk behind them, pushing them, I'm here to walk with people. So that is the job of recovery minister.
And for me, in my role, community and family voices are crucial, especially in places like Western Bartonshire. So how do you gather and listen to the voices of people affected by addiction in your community?
It's interesting you say your community, because I believe that we are in a society where everybody claims to be in their own little community. And I want to see our community, our larger community. Yes, I'm a Christian minister, but I'm open to all. And I will meet these people. At the beginning, I was meeting the people in the street, but now there's more and more people coming to see me. So that, I believe, is God sending me people to me, and I just welcome them, and I never reject anybody who come to me. So, but you're right, families are very important and very often feel lonely and ashamed and to have a loving ear and a loving person where they can talk to. I don't have solution to all the problems, far from it, but at least we can walk together and we can share, we can laugh and we can cry. At least there's someone, there's people can rely on. That is what I really aim to be able to offer to our community and our communities, everybody.
And another thing I always see, and I've seen it regular, is stigma.
Oh yes.
And I think it's still one of the biggest barriers for people seeking help. So from your perspective, what are the most common misconceptions about addiction you encounter?
Well, for me, there's two main stigma. The first one is about the origin of addiction. There's a massive stigma there. Either people think that the one who is addicted is either a very weak person who is not able to deal with the world, and that is bringing some shame on the person, which is a little bit terrible. And the second one within this origin is people are getting addicted because they are self-indulging themselves. There's this image of big party where people are taking drinks and drugs and just want to have more parties and all these kind of things. When you're talking to people in recovery or in addiction, that's not the case. It's far from being the case. Neither the people are weak, nor they are just self-indulging themselves. And I think there's a lack of respect for the people when people with addiction. We just need to not be judgmental and just to listen to them. The second part of the stigma is seeing people with addiction as dangerous, maybe also kind of hopeless. And for some people, they will see people with addiction as kind of subhuman, not worth spending the money of the society or spending time. And I think there's two types of stigma. The stigma of origin and the stigma of addiction, slightly different, are bringing an image on people with addiction which we will never ever put on someone who suffers from another illness or disease or mental health. But there's a kind of, I don't know how to put it, it's a terrible judgment that people are putting on people with addiction. And I don't understand it. And it is definitely, as churches, we need to get up, to wake up on that situation. We should be welcoming anybody with addiction, not only people in recovery, but people with addiction, the same way that we will welcome someone with a cancer, with depression, with mourning for someone who has died in their family. All this kind of thing is the same. And I don't understand why this stigma exists, but it's very often supported by the media and supported by what people think they know, which in fact they don't. So their stigma are terribly dangerous, and they are destroying the unity of our social order and our society, and it needs to be addressed, and it's everybody's work to do so.
And as a minister, I can imagine that you probably walked alongside people on some very difficult journeys. What stories of hope or transformation stand out for you, without naming individuals, of course, to give people that sense of hope?
So first, as a minister, I'm a minister, I'm not an institution, so I'm not dealing with numbers and statistics, I'm working with individuals. So which means I'm working with a limited numbers of individuals, because like everybody, I'm human and I have only 24 hours a day. So I've been supporting some people which, funny enough, were listed as hopeless by the care system or the health system or even the social workers. Everybody have given up on them. And they found their way. They found their way in a sense that being able to find their place in society. They have been able to reconnect with their own family, been able to reconnect with themselves. And as a minister, of course, I encourage them in their spirituality, whatever spirituality is. And that means is reconnection with the world. So I have cases of people who were labeled as hopeless, including themselves, defining themselves as hopeless. But being able to work with them when suddenly, in their mind, they know they need to do something and they just need someone to be next to them. And it was a massive, a beautiful privilege to see people reclaiming their life and how beautiful they are. So yes, there's not that many great stories, but there's some who let me think nobody is hopeless. There's always a place for people.
And how do you work with local services like ADPs, community groups, support organisations?
I'm working with ADPs and other organisations. I try to collaborate, and I will say that in West Dunbartonshire it's quite good, it's quite easy because there's a personal contact. It's maybe because it's a small local authority or smaller local authority. Sorry, of course it's not a smaller local authority, but it's a smaller one. And the contact, the personal contact is a lot easier, so we can work more hands in hands, but also completely independent because we have different tasks. But overall, I find that within the institutions, within the third sector, there's a lot of goodwill. Sometimes people are trying to protect their little corner because there's little money available out there and so on and so forth. So everybody is a little bit suspicious of others. But overall, people have a massive big heart and are happy to work together. Obviously, as a church, some people will be suspicious, but when we meet, it becomes very clear that very often we can work together, and if we can't, that's okay. That's the same. We just move on, and our purpose is to help people to find their power, their inner power, to be able to rebuild their life.
And this is something, and I'm going a wee bit off-piste in what we've got. I hope you're kind of prepared for this. So as what I say there, for anyone listening today who might be struggling themselves or worried about someone they love,
Yeah.
if you had the whole world's attention for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
what message would you like to share with them?
Don't give up. Don't give up, because even if you are in the kind of darkness of addiction or having someone in your family with addiction, don't give up. It's very easy. And so the problem is it can last so long. So after a few months, after a few years, it's very easy to give up. But there's always hope somewhere. Sometimes it's not us who decide it is our environment. Some people will say it's God who decide. But there's always hope. The only things I will just say, nobody can deal with this kind of burden on their own. So find someone you can trust, not someone who is going to exploit you or is going to not be reliable, or maybe someone who have their own burden and not be able to help you. That person is not going to carry your burden, but help you with it, walking alongside you, knowing that you're not alone. So find help. You can't deal with it on your own. Nobody can do that. It's so big. But know that there's hope, and there's plenty of people out there, professionals and not necessarily professionals, who are open to work with you and to help you. Just by meeting people, you will know who are the right people for you. So don't be ashamed. I know we have been talking about stigma, but it's up to you to fight it, and we can fight it together. But try to find someone to carry the burden with you, or to help you to carry the burden. That is so important. There's hope. There's always hope.
So Lorraine, Recovery Minister for the Methodist Church, thank you for your honesty, your compassion and the work you do every day. It's been a privilege having you with us. To our listeners, remember that recovery is possible, support is out there, and no one has to walk this alone. Thank you for listening. Until next time, and take care.
Thank you. Take care.
There we go, as painless as that.
Yeah. Not too short lines.
Good job.